Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of the Comic Hall. I'm your host, Dylan Lang. I know it's getting kind of annoying that I'm being doing these after my Dylan Knows show on Sundays and Saturdays when comic stores have already been out for the week. I'll try to do better. It's just hard to do it now during the week for whatever reason, but we'll try maybe next week I'll work on that. But for now, I got this week's Comic Hall. Nice, kind of hefty one this week. Some good stuff. Interesting things to check out, absolutely. And let's get right into it right now. The big news in the comics right now is the writer Mark Russell. Mark Russell wrote the great Flintstones social commentary comic, 12 issues of social commentary, which is fantastic. Then he wrote the Snagglepuss Chronicles about, being gay, making Snagglepuss a gay, gothic 50s scriptwriter who had to pretend not to be gay and did a really good social aspect of that as well. Is writing The Lone Ranger right now, doing his social aspect with that. Has just signed on to write Red Sonja. His first issue came out last week, which we showed you. He's also created a book that DC was going to put in their Vertigo line, but because people complained about it, they've canceled all the orders, and he's going to produce it himself elsewhere. It was about Jesus' second coming, where he was going to team up with a superhero to learn how to become a good person again. So that got a lot of the religious zealots in arms and stuff like that. It's a bunch of BS, to be honest. But it's going to be, he bought, DC was good enough. He said, DC gave me the rights back to it, so I'm going to move it on to somebody else. So that's fine. But I bring all this up because he is also writing The Wonder Twins, which is the first of a 6-issue miniseries for Wonder Comics. Again, is kind of a social commentary type of thing. It's written by Mark Russell with art by Stephen Byrne. You remember the Wonder Twins from the old Justice League cartoon? Well, this is more sort of a social commentary about teenage stuff like that, with these people talking about teenage stuff and making fun as well of the water and animal aspect of things. So we'll definitely check it out. It sounds good, and Mark Russell writing it's fantastic. So it should be a really good. And Wonder Comics has been phenomenal so far. I've liked every book: Young Justice, Naomi, and now Wonder Twins. We've got Dial H for Hero coming up still as well, which hopefully is just going to be as good too. So we'll see. But there's that one. I've never been a big fan of Scott Snyder's Joker stuff, and to be honest, I'm not really a big fan of this character, the Joker who laughs, or the Batman who laughs, which is a Jokerized version of Batman, which Scott Snyder created for the Metal storyline and is now making a major part of the DC universe as part of his 2-year change up of the DC universe, whatever. Well, he's a miniseries, 6 issues that's written by Scott Snyder with art by Jock, which is the main reason why I'm buying it, because I like the two of them together. They tell a really good story. But it's really bizarre, and it's different, and it's just a weird take on things, and then just all kinds of craziness. So I'll keep getting it because it's a major part of the change up the universe, but I'm still not the biggest fan of it, and I thought that was a great cover, though. The newest Hawkman issue, Hawkman number 9, all the other copies of the main cover were gone, so I had to go for the variant, which isn't too bad. It's a pretty nice cover. It's written by Shane Davis, the artwork on the cover. It's written by Robert Venditti with art by Brian Hitch and Andrew Curry. Hawkman's been extraordinary. Actually, it's been a breath of fresh air, and I didn't think it was going to be as good as it was, but it actually has been spectacular, and very happy and very excited for it. And Robert Venditti's telling a really good story, and Brian Hitch has been doing the art for basically every issue. So, hey, you got to love that as well. The Flash number 64 continues a crossover with Batman, The Price. This is part 2 of the 4-part crossover. The 3rd part comes out this week with Batman, but this one was written by Joshua Williamson with art by Rafa Sandoval and inks by Jordi Tarragona. So it's got the Flash and Batman at each other's throats over the death of Wally West on the Sanctuary story, Heroes in Crisis, and the two of them, who are the best detectives in the superhero world, are teaming up, but they are having trouble getting along. So they're having issues with their investigation, so we'll see. It also continues the mysterious storyline that's going on in the Batman series proper. Also, we got Justice League Dark number 8. I finally got caught up on this, and man, issues 6 and 7 were fantastic, and I can't wait to read issue number 8. A great cover with Dr. Fate. It's written by James Tynion IV, with art by Alvaro Martinez Bueno and inks by Raul Fernandez. This series has been amazing because, again, it's part of the change to the DC universe that Scott Snyder and James Tynion and Joshua Williamson are all working on, and this is a aspect of it as well, with the magic being all over the place here, and the Justice League Dark trying to save the day, and they're not succeeding that well. So it's good to see the heroes not succeeding that much, but in the end, they probably will. G. Willow Wilson's Wonder Woman has been phenomenal as well. This is the newest issue of that, issue number 64. I still have to read issue number 63. I haven't gotten to that yet. G. Willow Wilson writer, Jesus Marino pencils, Andy Owens inks. G. Willow Wilson is really getting into the mythology of Wonder Woman, which is fantastic because that's one aspect that I've really, really enjoyed about Wonder Woman is the actual Greek mythology aspect of it, and they're really, really getting into it with this series. So good on that. So next up, we have Supergirl number 27. Unfortunately, not by Kevin Maguire. I thought it might be, but it's not. But hey, I'll keep going with it because it's a pretty good story right now. Mark Andreyko story, Eduardo Pensica pencils, Julio Ferreira inks. Crypto's involved with it. Brainiac's involved with it. So, and it's Supergirl. So if you're a fan of the Supergirl TV show, this is probably a good series to pick up as well. If I have to start cutting stuff down, that might be one I cut. But I've just been getting it for Kevin Maguire to start with like that. Superman number 8 continues Brian Michael Bendis' run on the series. Again, it's starting to get to that point now where I was like, oh, Ivan Reyes has been doing a lot of the artwork for it and has been doing fantastic issues. Well, now he's starting to fall back into that. Well, I'm only going to do a little bit here and there. Like he only did like 8 issues here, and then Brandon Peterson did the art for the rest of the book. Joe Prado did the inks for that. So you get a little bit of Ivan Reyes and you get some Brandon Peterson, and this continues the Brian Michael Bendis story of Superman. Again, it's been okay, but I don't think there's any sexy Lois Lane in this one. She's been popping up a lot lately, but I don't think she's in this one. So, I mean, Lois is in it, but I don't think it's sexy Lois Lane. So, Detective Comics number 998 is the last DC book I'll be covering. This series has had a breath of fresh air with Peter Tomasi coming on with it and Doug Mahnke doing the artwork. They're now only 2 issues away from 1,000, and the storyline that they've been doing has been absolutely insane. More power to them. Jamie Mendoza and Mark Irwin joined them for inking. So it's been a great series, and I'm glad Peter Tomasi is back doing stuff, and they're throwing everything in the kitchen sink in this story arc. And so we'll see where it goes after issue 1,000 and see if Tomasi can keep up with what he's doing. So that's it for DC. Marvel, the main reason why I named this episode Quite Marvelous is because this is the anniversary. This year is the anniversary of one of the seminal pieces of Marvel comic book history. It's also Marvel's 80th anniversary. So this is the 25th anniversary of Marvel's. Okay. It is the 25th anniversary of Marvel's The Series. It was a 4-issue miniseries drawn by Alex Ross and written by, Alex Ross did write it also. No, Kurt Busiek did. Kurt Busiek was the writer and Alex Ross was the artist. But this reprints also issue number 0, which was written by Alex Ross and Steve Darnell with art by Alex Ross. So you get full Alex Ross artwork on this. Marvel's was a seminal piece of work for Marvel 25 years ago. It was a new take on the Marvel history from the perspective of a photographer with, as I said, gorgeous Alex Ross work. Now, when Marvel's came out, I really wasn't into comics that much, so I didn't buy the Marvel series itself. I bought the trade, and I've read the trade. But I figured since they're going to be re-releasing all 4 issues of Marvel's in this new format, I figured I may as well pick up the comics now, because you also get, besides the comic itself and the art and the beautiful story itself, this is the annotated version. where you get news and notes and behind the scenes stuff about all the characters and the scenarios and what it is all about, which is in and of itself always fascinating. Plus, you get the covers, variant covers, cover check, stuff like that, and different things. And then you also get a behind the scenes stuff, and you get to take a look at how Alex Ross drew the whole thing, how he broke it down, and how he did everything else. And then you also get to see Kurt Busiek's actual scripts. So it's all going to be part of Marvel's Annotated. It's $8, but it's recommended because this is a great series, and you get a whole lot more bang for your buck on that. So I'll be in on all 4 of those issues. So fantastic. And they'll be out on time because the book's already been out. It came out 25 years ago, but it's one of those things that it's fun to rediscover in comic book format. Trade is fine, but this is just something different. Amazing Spider-Man number 15 is the last Marvel we have today, which is Nick Spencer and Chris Bachalo continuing their story arc. Chris Bacalo's artwork is stellar as usual, and it's been a good series. I've gotten a little behind on it, so I got to get back into reading it again, but you know, we'll see what happens. So good on that. From the Independents, we have the final issue of Strange in Paradise 25, number 10. I thought they were going to continue doing this, but I guess it was just a 10-issue series. Basically, I was a little bit disappointed in the series. I mean, it's still great. Terry Moore's artwork is great. Characters are great, stuff like that. But he really used this 10-issue miniseries to integrate all of this series into one book, and I didn't get to see these two together, and I would have loved to see these two have an interaction in this, but no, we had a completely different story. But as usual, the artwork is gorgeous and stunning. The story was fun and exciting, but you also get the connection between all the stuff. So you get a little bit of connection of all to keep it as one complete world. So what's Terry Moore going to do next? Actually, I don't really know, so I'll have to keep an eye out on that. Valentine's Day passed, but I'm a sucker for specials. This is a Vampirella Valentine's Day special. It's got 2 stories in it. One written by Leah Williams, who is Alan Moore's daughter, and art by Maria Sinapo, and also an old issue of Vampirella is reproduced here from 2006, written and drawn by Michael Golden. So you get two Valentine's Day type of stories for the price of one. This is the Michael Golden story from 2006, and this is the present version of it. But again, I'm always a sucker for, scantily clad superhero women with impressive bodies, as it were, and other aspects as well. There's that. This I just picked up because of just the silliness of it. Army of Darkness, Bubba Hotep. Both characters played by Bruce Campbell are now crossing over into a miniseries written by Scott Duvall with art by Vincenzo Federici. So it's just fun to see 2 of Bruce Campbell's characters interacting in a comic series, and it looks like fun. So I'll probably keep up with it. We'll see. But it's just the meta aspect of it is great. Magic Order number 6 is the final issue of the first Netflix series that Mark Millar did for Netflix. Art by Oliver Coipel. A bit more adult than I thought it was going to be, but this is going to be turned into a TV show or animated movie or something like that. I'm not exactly sure, but that was the whole point of Mark Millar joining Netflix, is all the books he's going to start writing for Netflix, and his previous stuff as well will be released on Netflix as TV shows, movies, or animated series. He's got Prodigy, which is out now, continuing also from Netflix. He's got a new one. Mark Millar's got a new one coming out next week, which looks kind of weird, but I might check it out anyway because it's Mark Millar, and he's the type of writer who can jump from different genres. So we'll see about that one. Dark Ark number 14 continues the story of the other arc that happened during Noah's Ark time, but this one was filled with evil beings. It's written by Cullen Bunn with art by Juan Doe. So still a kind of a gruesome horror story and an interesting concept. And finally, the last issue of the first Dick Tracy miniseries, Dead or Alive. Again, Mike Allred, writer, with his brother Lee Allred. Pencils by Rich Tommaso, and inks by Mike Allred, colored by Laura Allred. So I was kind of hoping for Michael Allred drawing the whole book, but now he didn't. So nothing we can do about that. But what's great is that we're going to be getting a new Dick Tracy series with what's his name? The guy who does Powers with Brian Michael Bendis. So he's going to be doing, and his artwork is going to fit that as well perfectly. And that's it for your comic call. This is all stuff that came out this week. Oh, geez. This chair is going to break on me eventually one of these days. That wasn't any good. Anyway, these books should still be out in the new this week section. They probably will not be moved until Tuesday to make room for the new books come out Wednesday. As I said earlier, I will try harder to get these out on a more timely basis so you know what you're looking for. But hey, you still got about 2 to 3 hours left to go to your local comic store and pick these up, or go Monday, go Tuesday, whatever. All right. Take care, and we'll see you next week. Bye.